Here we have the ambient weather. This is the WS2000. I wanted to have a weather station, so I bought it, and here we are. I'm going to try to set it up, and it shouldn't be that big of a deal. I remember I had something similar to this years and years and years ago, so this is a more updated version, hopefully, and it should be pretty easy to create, or set up, I mean. So let's go ahead and get started on this. Oh, they have support, so you probably can't really see that, but it's support at ambientweather.com. So it's one of those things, please don't blah blah blah. I was reading this. It's a giant manual to set it up, which is incredibly intimidating, but it's mostly like, make sure you have it on the pole right, make sure you have all of your stuff set up properly. So hopefully it won't be that big of a deal. Here's the screen. It comes with a pretty nice size screen. The last one I had nothing like this, and you just looked at it through the Weather Underground app, which wasn't that big of a deal because that's basically what I wanted anyway. So, ooh, look at that. Ooh, pretty. Alright. So there's that. It's a nice size screen. What is that, like 8 inches or something like that? And it does not have, I thought maybe it had batteries in it. It's AC powered. It's got a little plug right here. I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a plug, there's a USB, and there's a micro SD card. I'm assuming that is to update stuff, but I need to read the manual more. So here's some U bracket. Here's the indoor temperature sensor. This does require batteries. Here's some U-bolts, so when you attach it to a pole. I believe this goes in the water, in the rain collector. The wind vane. What's the main mechanism? I guess the only thing that I would be nervous about is that this whole thing is plastic. So, yeah. So this is the thermometer. This is the rain gauge, and this one of these goes to the altimeter. Not the altimeter, the wind speed and then wind direction, I think. So let me go ahead and start getting this stuff set up. So I put this on. This screws in pretty easily, and then there's a little filter, which is nice because you're gonna get junk in it because that's just the way it is. The batteries are in on the bottom, and then it has a solar panel to keep the thing running. The wind vane, direction, and the speed are stood up. It's nice because it has a little screw, so it ties in tight. My only thing that I'm a little concerned about, but not too much, is that it's all plastic and it's white, so it will be changing color. It's July when I'm making this video, so next July this thing's going to be as yellow as the sun, so it's not a big deal as long as it works. So, has an orientation too, so I got to put it north. I have to put on the little mounting brackets. I haven't figured out where I'm going to mount it yet, which is probably a bad idea, but I don't care. As long as this stuff is stood up, this is ready to go. Now the next part of the instruction manual takes me to the indoor thermometer. So now I need another set of batteries, and I gotta go find. I brought 2 batteries, and I was like, oh, that'll be good. I totally forgot about this part. So let me go get another pair of batteries, and then I'm gonna plug this in, and then we'll start looking at the actual data it gives. I'm not sure what the 29 is. I'm going to need to look at the manual, but it's giving a reading 79 degrees. I think it's a bit cooler than that, but it's fine. Maybe because I'm holding it. Maybe because I was walking it up like that. Anyway, This is stood up. There's a little adapter for it, which is nice. I mean, this needs to be on batteries just because it's outside and I'm not going to have it plugged in. Although being plugged in would be pretty sweet. I mean, it could figure out a way to do it, but anyway. Here's the screen. Let's go ahead and plug it in and see what happens. All right. We just went back in time. This has Sunday, April 29th, 2018, which is funny. Seems pretty straightforward. Wish it were touchscreen. I keep wanting to touch it. Nice thing, it connects to your network, which is nice, which I guess makes sense because this is also a data transmitter to the cloud. In this case, I'm going to put it on Weather Underground. But all my data is coming through perfectly. There we go. I just moved the altimeter to make sure that works, because that's a big thing. I want that. I want daily rain recorded. It's going to be really, really nice. This thing is basically, I had an old one. I bought it probably a decade ago, and it worked mostly, but you had to have a separate little box that was basically a tiny computer that you hooked this interface up to a computer. Now all of it is in the same pane of glass, so to speak, and boy, it's nice. So this is the Ambient Weather WS2000, I think. Something along those lines. It'll be the correct, whatever the title is, that'll be the correct thing. The whole thing probably took me longer to hunt down some batteries than to do anything else, which is a good thing in the long run, but this is great. I'm going to have the data on Weather Underground, and I'll probably talk about that in another video, but it only took me about 3 minutes to set up. I did not think it was going to be that easy, but sure enough it was. So, Ambient Weather, it's not a cheap thing, but it's its whole little computer here, which is really nice. And then I'll have it on an app, and I'll be able to transmit that way also. Quick postscript to all of this. I've set it up outside on a temporary stand. Seems to be working well. It's pretty hot outside. It is July when I'm shooting this, July 20th when I'm shooting it for posterity. And boy, it's so easy to hook up to everything. They make it almost foolproof, as long as you have enough. If you have enough sense to make an account on like YouTube, if you knew how much to make your Gmail account and tie it into YouTube, you could set this up. That's how easy it is. That's nice. So it's set up, and I'm ready to monitor the weather. I do that anyway, so now I have my own weather station to do it with.